Now that's a movie! Tom Cruise has done it again. It's so funny how thrilled I get, even a lot of people now, when a movie like this comes out. And when I mean like this, I mean normal! It just shows you how sick and tired the general movie audience is. Regular folks, the majority of the people, of the amount of trash that was thrown right at our doorsteps the last few years, sticking out more than the fungus growing in Lizzo's folds. You can have bad movies, it's just when it's every single one and how they're bad, and all this modern political nonsense made for a very small percentage of people. The modern audience. So when a normal movie comes out because it's just made to be a movie, it sticks out more than Michael Jackson's pants when he's near children.
God knows in my heart how much I adore children.
When you have movies over this year come out like The Little Mermaid, Indiana Jones 5, The Wasp and the Ant-Man, The Flash, Elemental, Dungeons and Dragons, and these are just movies that come out in theaters. There's still other movies that have come out, and also the ones on streaming, plus TV shows, and it's all unfortunate, but also fortunately for us, there's only one way for a movie like this to exist, is to have a very successful influential filmmaker like Tom Cruise. Something that I've never seen before is right before the movie started, a video message with Tom Cruise played, basically thanking us for coming to his movie, and because he understands where the current state of Hollywood is at, and it's crumbling, which is why he says he makes these movies specifically for the big screen. He is trying to save the industry. Everybody knows this, even Steven Spielberg.
You saved Hollywood.
But on the rise of free entertainment, streaming services, and the decline of the theater experience, and now all these strikes going on in Hollywood, Tom Cruise might not be able to do it all by himself. So yes, another Mission Impossible movie has come out, and it is awesome. There's so many things to unravel here, but to summarize, Ethan Hunt and his IMF team have to track down a special key that unlocks secret information to a new technology that basically can wipe out all the human beings. Nice. It's crazy, I've never really been a massive fan of this franchise. Every time a new one has come out, I'd be like, that's cool, another one, great. Been more of a James Bond kind of guy. I just thought those movies brought more gravitas and swag. Even the cinematography recently has been top notch. And Mission Impossible has always been America's version of James Bond. It was always filmed and treated more like an action Hollywood movie. However, in recent years, James Bond decided to take a massive nosedive into the gaping anal hole of modern politics. It's only a matter of time where they make James Bond into a non-binary feminine gay black female crossdresser. But don't you see, comical? Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise promotes toxic masculinity. It's a negative way of life to teach kids about putting your life on the line to save the world. Having a male lead to do all the right things, or him having the upper hand versus a woman, or not having any gay men. Good! Give me more! Tom Cruise does it again by delivering insane action set pieces. You always want to top your previous movie, but as the clock is ticking with Cruise's age, how far can he go? He clearly needs to tone it back. There's only so much you can do until that body has the strength of a wet tissue.
Nothing wrong. Bike went away. I mean, the track was perfect. It was actually, it was...
Are you kidding me? How does he keep doing this? How is he able to get away with this? What secret serum is he taking? Here's the thing, this movie is almost 3 hours long, and it didn't even feel like it. A lot of things have to go right for a movie that's 3 hours feel like a breeze. Like damn, a Lizzo song feels like an excruciating hour. And the only breeze coming out of her is the Oppenheimer fission reactor that's been trapped between her moon cakes for 3 days until she finally takes a step forward, forcing one of those center of gravity cakes to open up the seam and unleash a smell that is so sour and rancid not even the makeup person who sees Ellen DeGeneres in pre-makeup face can handle. Okay, I'm done with the Lizzo jokes. I already made a video on it, but Indiana Jones 5 deserves all the fecal matter thrown its way. That was a 2.5 hour movie and it felt like 5. And that's the magic of horrible editing and acting and writing and directing and CGI and cinematography and choreography. You know what I mean. Hey look, for an over-the-top action movie, you have to break the wall of believability sometimes, but the audience can forgive an unbelievable moment. When we see the filmmakers actually care, nothing felt or looked stupid, everything that happened felt like a moment that those characters could actually do. Also helps that some of these stunts are actually Tom Cruise doing them. I just don't know if Tom Cruise can beat Mr. Potato Heads flying across the bridge and catch someone in midair. Sorry, Tom. If only you had family for motivation. But like, damn, what is he gonna do next? Give us like Ethan Hunt's origin story and Tom Cruise puts himself into a woman's womb? Wait. No, please don't do that. Performances all around were great. This isn't the movie where you're going to get Oscar caliber acting, but what you need from your actors in movies like this is commitment. Everyone looked like they cared and were having a blast, and that just made every scene look and feel more enjoyable, because people can see through that. We saw Jennifer Lawrence not enjoying playing Mystique later on. We saw the cast of the gayest Marvel movie ever not giving a damn in their scenes, and it shows, and that's when it feels scripted. There was a scene in this movie that if you were to ask me, I'd say was improvised. Cruise and Haley Atwell. Haley. Cruise and Haley Atwell had a scene in the car, and there was some back and forth, and it felt very raw. Wait. What did I say? The chemistry between all the characters were fantastic. I love when movies have characters that interact with one another differently. Instead of all of us being the same and need to be treated the same as Hollywood wants us to be, except white people. You get treated like scum. Each character had their strength and weakness, and they were both utilized very well. Like Benji, one of the men in the chair. There were times where he used his knowledge and skill to get Ethan out of situations, and there were times where he desperately needed help and asked somebody else, because not every character is so amazingly good at everything. Ethan Hunt felt like a main character. He was compassionate, ruthless, brave, emotional, a real human being, and this movie did its best to make him shine, and also not take away from other characters. All the supporting cast each had their moment to shine, without even taking away from the protagonist. It was welded perfectly. And this movie was non-stop, felt like an episode of 24. There were a few moments to breathe, but went right into the big thing. Maybe I have to go see it again, but there wasn't a scene that I remember that was a filler, and had no purpose. And that's how this 3-hour movie flies. Every action scene was awesome, every character was likable, and there weren't any useless scenes. The flow of this movie was better than whatever Roddy Rich's flow was. You thought I was gonna make a Lizzo joke. What happened to that guy? I haven't seen all the behind the scenes, but so many of these action set pieces were actually real. There's a train sequence, and it is awesome from beginning to end, and the whole sequence was amazing. Another thing this movie did well was making you hold your breath. You know he's gonna survive it, but they managed to find that line to push it to the edge. You know you got a good movie when you have crazy action that puts people on their toes. Anyways, back to the train sequence. We literally had 2 train scenes the past 2 weeks from this movie and Indiana Jones and the Damasak Delusion. One looked amazing and the other one looked fake. One was actually a real stunt, and the other one was green screen and CGI. You take your guess. Even the start of this movie introduced what Ethan will have to go up against, and also the setup of the movie within the first 10 minutes. But I have to say, with what happened just recently, I don't know if the timing was perfectly a coincidence or on purpose, but definitely added to people's anxiety. There was a thing in this movie that we've been conditioned to not fully understand. It was the most alien thing, and what I'm talking about is character development. We've been with most of these characters for years, and they still act like themselves, but with different circumstances and other events where they succeeded or failed adds to their character. But even with a new character like Haley Atwell, she wasn't this all-amazing girl boss that won and beat every man at everything. She had her flaws. She even got her ass handed to her. But there was times with her particular set of skill where she came out on top. Then we got a little backstory of her to understand why she is and who she is. And from the beginning to the end of this movie, she grew and changed relevant to what she went through. And she was likable. And something that Hollywood doesn't do anymore, she's also really, really pretty. This movie does have its faults. They had a great villain. He had great moments, performed by another great actor. There was a thing where I felt they could have pushed it more. They focused so much on the good guys that it took more time away from developing the enemy. There's certain technology, which is what they were fighting for, can do certain things, and the things it can do is really frightening and cool, but they utilized it so little that they definitely could have pushed it more. And build that mystery aspect, and the payoff, I believe, would have been way more earned in the end. I've seen a lot of movies and TV shows, and I understand writing techniques and camera work, so I'm not always fooled, but god damn, they got me here. They did the switcheroo thing a few times, and they got me, man. In a Mission Impossible movie out of all. The Mission Impossible score is so fantastic. It reminds me that movies don't have memorable scores anymore. All these iconic themes like Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Superman, 007, etc. are all old movies, and these composers just knew what to do. But any new original movies today don't have scores, and if they do, it's nothing you really remember. And scores are such an integral part of movies, and they also encapture the magic. Mission Impossible's theme is so iconic, and it pumps you up, but nothing pumps me up more than the sound of music that comes out of Vin Diesel's singing voice.
It's been a long day without you, my friend.
Sorry, Tom, if only family was your motivation. But one thing what this movie was missing for its score and definitely could have added to the whole overall experience is Lizzo's flute skills. Isn't it great when you can sit down in the theater with the ticket that you overpaid for, with the popcorn that you put down a second mortgage for, to watch a movie about a character whose name is on the title on your ticket, and just enjoy a movie made by experienced professionals in all avenues of filmmaking, and experience modern cinema and its limits in current time, without having privileged hacks being in charge and forcing
the message
down your throat? How's the strike going for ya? Isn't it great seeing your hero being a hero? Isn't it great when you can have a diverse cast and it feels natural and not forced? Isn't it great when you don't have to force males to be gay with each other? Isn't it great to have a good movie without having anything sexual, not even a single kiss? Isn't it great when a studio and its creators thank you instead of calling you all the istanisms? This movie is making bank. People are desperate for movies like this. Everyone is so exhausted of our current world. We need another avenue to escape for at least 2 hours. We don't need something so big and large with a massive audience breathing so heavily in our ear and pushing messages that are so idiotic it only hurts people instead of empowering them. I'm talking about movie franchises, not people who eat at fast food franchises. You guys thought I was going to do another Lizzo joke. Even if this movie is mediocre, support these kind of movies. If we want this industry to survive and also make good movies again, go see this movie. Let studios know what we want and give people like Tom Cruise who actually care all the support. Because this is the only way we save the movie theater experience. Because the strength and power of Lizzo's gravitational pull won't be strong enough. That's all I got. Leave a like and subscribe, and until my next one, ta-ta for now.